Her is a film directed by Spike Jonze, and it takes place in the near future Los Angeles. The main character, Theodore, is a lonely writer who develops a relationship with Samantha, an insightful and sensitive artificial intelligence. The film takes something high concept, like science fiction, and communicates its ideas through funneling the narrative into the structure of a love story. The central theme of Her is loneliness, which the opening shot introduces by showing Theodore bearing a look of melancholy. The soft focus around him displays a man who is out of touch and isolated from his environment because of his looming divorce that's going to be finalized. Her ruminates on the aspects of intimacy, specifically how love can grow and decay over time. At the beginning of the film, Theodore is in the process of divorcing with his ex-wife. He finds himself at a point of resistance because he's unable to accept life without his wife. The film shows this through employing soft focus between Theodore and the environment. He's often dressed in red and stands in contrast to the bland pastels of the city and people around him. Theodore seemingly also is walking a different direction than others, signifying just how lost he is in the wake of losing his wife. The times when Theodore remembers his past with his wife, he further suspends himself from being able to move on. By juxtaposing a shot of Theodore in soft focus with the almost utopian memories of his past, the editing of the film is able to visually convey the desires he has for intimacy. Theodore believes that he cannot be without this idealized version of the marriage he once had, which is later shown to have not been what he remembered it to be.
Yeah, she's been really good for me, it's good to be with somebody that's excited about life. She's a real, no, I wasn't in such a good place myself, and in that way, it's been nice.
I feel like you always wanted me to be this light, happy, bouncy, everything's fine LA wife, and that's just not me.
I didn't want that.
As a writer, he works for a company that makes handwritten letters for other people. The world itself has become so reliant on technology that people don't even write their own letters to send. But Theodore is able to express his own emotions through the voice of others at his job, which provide him with a way of managing his disconnect, and he even says at one point that he hasn't written for himself since his wife left him. The blending of science fiction elements into the film helps show how Theodore deals with his loneliness, and he uses technology as a method to escape from his problems. Rather than responding to his emails from friends to make plans, he would rather look at nude photos or play video games. Because of his tendency of using technology to avoid facing his current reality, he becomes infatuated when he begins to fall for Samantha after booting up her artificial intelligence. In this way, technology becomes a crutch for Theodore. And while he has a fulfilling relationship with Samantha in the film, he is still disconnected from his world. When Theodore initially boots up Samantha, he is still adorned in red and is still plagued by moments of disconnect, dreaming of the life he lost with his ex-wife. During many of the moments when Theodore appears to be happy with Samantha, the film begins to subtly change. He begins to wear colors that blend in, and the light in each frame becomes warmer. And yet, he still has feelings of disconnect. This is because the relationship between them is fulfilling to Theodore, but is artificial, because he isn't able to cope with his true problems causing his loneliness. That is, until later in the film, where Theodore begins to accept his situation and recognize that the answer to his loneliness isn't going to be solved unless he is able to reconnect with his emotions. By the end of the film, when Samantha has grown and changed herself, she finds that she has to disappear with the other AIs. Just like in a relationship between people, change can sometimes mean outgrowing the person you're with. It provides Theodore with the realization that he has to accept the past for what it was and say goodbye. In this way, he is not only able to cope with Samantha leaving, but also make sense of his divorce. Over the course of the film, Theodore is unsure of where he is going in his life, and in the end, he is shown looking at the city, the frame showing deep focus of both Theodore and the landscape. In that moment, he has grown from the loss he has felt. Her is a story not just about one man's divorce, but also a meditation on how relationships evolve over time.
And while I'm here, I want to allow myself joy. So fuck it.